but we got to talk about another pop artist that I'm super excited to have live in the studio today. Give it up in the chat for Preston Pablo. Drop some emojis. What's your emoji of choice?
I like the avocado emoji.
Drop the avocado emoji in the chat.
Avocado emojis.
Nice.
Yeah,
I like
man.
it.
How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah,
How are
chilling?
you? It's more important.
I'm good, bro. I'm all right. I'm all right.
I appreciate you making the time.
Of course.
I got to give a bit of an introduction. If you listen to music at all, you have heard Preston's music. You can't escape it, and that's for good music, good reason. It's great music. He is fresh off a headlining show at the Access Club.
Yeah.
Last year's Juno winner for Breakthrough Artist of the Year. New single Dance Alone going crazy, just like internationally.
Hey.
Man, how you feeling? It's been a big year for you.
Yeah. No, I feel great, man. It's crazy to even like every time I do something like this where somebody will like recite those accolades and those achievements, it's like always crazy to just hear it even out loud.
Yeah, you did that.
Yeah,
Does it like has it fully sunk in yet, or do things just happen so quick that you're just like?
Yeah, I think like part of it has, but I feel like there will always be a part of it that just like, you know, it just doesn't really like feel real. Even like the headline show, like you mentioned, just standing on a stage like that. It's different when I've played to like bigger crowds as like an opening slot or like at a festival, but when you're on like a stage and it's your own people, like when you're headlining the show and you're the reason that people are coming out, that is just always like a crazy sight to just see. It's wild.
No kidding, man. That must be special because it's like you're not having to win people over. You won them over. That's why they're there.
Yeah. And it's like, it's a different kind of pressure rather than like having to win them over as an opening act. Now it's like they're here because of you and for you, but now you kind of have to like live up to what they came to see. You know what I mean? Now
and I'm sure that's no problem for you.
Yeah, I try my best.
Hell yeah. Do you find you're like afforded the ability to take more risks or, you know, like exact your vision a little bit more because you have that time and space?
For sure, yeah. And I think that's one of like my favorite parts about being able to headline a show is that it's more so about what you want to say. You know what I mean? You're not trying to like hype up the artist who's on after you, or you're not trying to like win these fans over with like a quick like 30-minute set. You know what I mean? You kind of get to like stretch out the moment and like really live in some of those spaces. And I found like I got to talk a lot more at this headlining show, which is cool because as like an up and coming artist, a lot of people know the songs, but they might not know the artist. So I think those are the opportunities where you can really like try and explain to the crowd like who you are and what you're about.
Favorite part of the show?
Favorite part of the show, I did an acoustic set. So we brought out some stools. Like I've always been I was gonna say like I've always been a fan of that part in the set when you're watching it where the artist gets the stools out.
Some like real R&B.
You know what I'm saying? Shit. Just everything slows down, and I had that moment in my set for like the first time, which is it was really cool, and I think it allowed me to just kind of like. That was one of the moments in my set where I was able to like let the moment sink in, you know what I mean? Because I wasn't dancing or not hiding behind, but there wasn't all these like instruments playing and just like lights and like everything was just kind of stripped down, and it was kind of just me and the guitar. So I think it was cool to just sit there, take a breath, look in the crowd, and just sing.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
What are your roots as like a singer-songwriter, as an artist? Is that kind of how you came up, the sort of like acoustic performances?
Yeah, for sure. Like my first kind of experience at being like a player of music or a musician rather than just like a consumer of it was through drums.
Right on.
Yeah, so I started taking drum lessons when I was like maybe 13, 12, and that was my first time where I was like playing music. I had been in like, I guess, choir and like stuff before that in school, but it was like in a different setting, you know what I mean? There's like the whole class is singing. Everyone, you have to sing.
You don't get to steer the ship the same way as when like the beat is on you.
Exactly. So yeah, when I started kind of playing instruments, I played drums for a number of years, and then my brother was learning how to play guitar at the same time. Then naturally I kind of transitioned over to guitar, and that was when I started just like kind of writing music, figuring out little chord progressions, singing, just chilling on my bed singing, and then eventually I recorded some of that stuff, and it was kind of like this organic progression of me being like an instrument player to kind of like then using my voice as an instrument, then writing. But
so the voice definitely almost was like the last piece in the puzzle. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was the last. I think it was the scariest thing to like.
What made it scary?
Just like not being good at it, because
I feel like that was never a problem for you, like a real problem.
I could always like I always loved to sing like in the shower. Everyone loves singing in the shower.
Yeah.
Like when around the house, you know what I mean? My family is very like musical. Like my sister's a piano player, my brother's a guitar player. He's an artist as well.
Damn, you have a whole band right there.
Yeah, so like we were always like hanging out and playing music together. A lot of my cousins play music. So it was always like this thing that we did, like, but there's a switch that happens when you're like singing for fun and then all of a sudden now you're trying to be serious. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like when you're singing at a karaoke bar, it's like so lighthearted and fun. But the minute you like try to take it seriously, it becomes like scary because you're like, oh, now like if I mess up, people are looking at me like, oh, you messed up something you were actually trying to do right. You know what I'm saying? So it was like this weird, when I actually started singing for real, it was scary because I was like, yo, like I don't know if I suck. You know what I mean? Like I'm the only one listening. It sounds kind of cool. But I do remember what I did early on to kind of like shape my voice and like practice was I would just set up like my iPod or whatever and just record myself singing and playing guitar.
iPod Touch?
Yeah,
Classic,
iPod Touch.
Classic.
And I would just listen back to it and I would like pick apart every little note and every little like thing that I didn't like and I would just kind of just keep doing that. I did that for a while.
Damn, it sounds like you're critical on yourself.
Very, yeah.
You're very aware of like what you want to work on and develop on.
Definitely. And sometimes it could be like honestly too a little much, you know what I mean? But I feel like it's something that a lot of artists have in common.
For sure.
Very like self-critical, usually like to a point where it can be detrimental sometimes, where you're like getting so down on yourself or like picking something apart to the point where it becomes like frustrating. But it's part of it.
Then I got to ask about a song that happened in probably the most opposite way, which was putting a snippet over one loop up online, that going crazy. Tell me about how Dance Alone came together. What did that feel like? Because I feel like everybody following along has seen the story, and you can kind of like fill people in if somehow they missed it. But what was going through your mind as that was happening?
That when that song came to be, it was interesting because I was very much focused on like R&B music at the time. I was like consuming so much R&B music. I was writing only R&B.
You were in your bag.
Yeah, I was just very focused on like I had this R&B project that was ready to come out. So I was like trying to figure out how to kind of roll that out into like what I had already created, like the pop space that I kind of like stepped into. I was trying to figure out, okay, now how do I like take this R&B side of myself and like introduce that to the world? So
like weave it in.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's just crazy that during that time when I was so heavily R&B minded, the most like pop song came out of it, which
crazy.
Is like, it doesn't even make sense to me, but it was one of those moments where I just remember if I'm writing music like by myself, I have this very short fuse of being like very focused, and that was one of those days where everything I was like playing, I was on Splice, and I was just like listening to loops. Yo, shout out to Splice, for real. Splice. Yeah. For real, bro. And that loop came on, that synth loop that I ended up writing the chorus over. As soon as I heard it, I immediately knew like I'm gonna write something over this. And like a lot of the times I'll spend like 30 minutes listening to like whether it's loops or packs or beats or whatever, and within that first 30 minutes I can know like I have my attention span is very small when I'm by myself, like and that day it just so happened that it was one of the first things I pulled up, that synth loop.
Crazy.
And it just hit. I remember singing those melodies like right away. They just came out.
Fell out.
Yeah. It was one of those like moments where when the first melody passed, I knew like I definitely knew there was something like special about it. It felt like it made me feel like those like chills, you know what I mean? And I don't get that like every time I write something, but that was one of those times. And it was similar to when I wrote Flowers Need Rain. It just happened so like organically, so fast. And that's why I posted it, because it just felt so real in that moment. Like I felt so connected to it, even though I was thinking about all this other R&B shit. Like this one little pop chorus felt like it was just like at the top of my mind, and I was just like so connected to it. So I posted it to TikTok.
That seems so scary to me, to be like in this place of creation and really just like dialed in on that process, have something beautiful come together, and then was it just default like, okay, I need to share this, I need to get it out there?
I think like when you're like me as an artist, I've only ever made music if it felt right, you know what I mean? And this like Dance Alone, that chorus was just one of those things where it just felt right, like and I can't deny that feeling. Like that feeling is what initially made me want to put out music. And when I have that feeling, like when you get those initial chills, or like, you know what I mean, when it makes you feel a certain way, like there's no running from that. Like, especially me, I can't like deny that. So I had to, and like social media that's the place now, like where you go when you like, you know what I mean? That's where you share those feelings. It's like almost like this instant. It's from writing that chorus to posting it on TikTok, it was like an hour maybe. So like
crazy.
It just all happened. I just needed to do it. It just felt right, and I guess it was.
Dude,
right,
I'm glad
right
you
thing.
did.
Yeah,
look
too,
at where it
man,
took you.
Me too. Yeah.
And then you took it to some like classic collaborators of yours. I would say
Yeah.
even like that's the core.
Yeah,
you plus
that's
Banks
it.
and Ranks.
Yeah.
Tell me about that process, because you were kind of like finishing it on the clock. I feel like
Yeah.
everybody on the internet had like gun to your head.
Yeah, it was scary,
being like,
bro.
where's the song, Preston?
Man. Yeah, that was scary because when I put out the snippet, I had like literally nothing else to the song. It was just that chorus.
I think some people like think all artists are like trying to play them in a pre-saving the song and like it's some crazy rollout, but like not like that was all you had.
No, that was just it was just I liked what I heard. I put it out, and that's all I had. But yeah, when Banks and Ranks came into the picture, it just felt like that was another thing that just felt like needed to happen. You know what I mean? To take it to that next level, to take it to where I wanted it to go. And they heard it on TikTok, and they were just like, "Yo, what's good? Like, what are we gonna finish this? Or like, what? Where's this one at?" And I just remember they texted in the group we have, and they're like, I had already had a plan to go write music with them, and they were like, "Yo, when you get here, like, this is the first song we'll work on."
Nice.
So that just became I went there. We spent like the day messing around with it. We actually wrote like the verses on that song were tough. We had like maybe 3 or 4 different rounds of verses until we settled on the final ones. But
did they just not feel right? Were you pushing for something that you couldn't quite see yet to materialize?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was just that the chorus felt so strong. Like it was such a big, like it was a great chorus, and everything that we were trying to do before or after it just didn't feel as good.
Right. And when you're holding two next to each
other. You know what I mean? Like we didn't want to underserve the song. So it took a while to land on the verses we landed on, but I think we did a good job.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Are you listening to that song? Can you listen to your own music?
I can, yeah. There's this I think there's this phase that a lot of artists or like producers go through before a release where like that's all they're listening to is the song that's set to come out.
Right.
Because when you first make something, like that first session or whatever, that first demo that you leave the studio with, like that's always the one that you're just replaying
on the Files app.
That's it,
just
bro.
like
the Files app, you know what I mean? So I remember when I first made Dance Alone, like when we first had that initial demo, I was definitely listening to it like a lot. Just trying to like, get comfortable with the song, and especially taking it, like translating it from the studio to the stage. Like you kind of want to just have a good, you want to know the song like in and out before you can kind of exist with it. So I definitely listened to it a lot before it came out, but now that it's out, I don't really listen to it other than the times I'm on stage.
It?
Yeah, maybe.
Like, oh,
hopefully.
This kind of bangs.
Yeah, I'll wait for the remix to come out or the feature, and then that's when I'll listen to it again.
Nice. Are there remixes and features in the works?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that, but I'm gonna say it anyway.
All right, guess in the chat.
Yeah.
Who is gonna remix it?
Yeah, but yeah, there's we're working on some stuff. We're trying to just, keep the song going. I feel like it's this song has such like a wide range of who can amplify it and where it can go. I feel like we have to. It's only right, give it the chance to flourish. So
it is actually universal. Like to me, when I'm reading through the comments of people who are just gassed up on this song, there's not one specific kind of person.
It's crazy.
Like I think you do a great job with that in your music. Is like,
thank you.
Without watering it down, you are reaching and resonating with so many different kinds of people.
Thank you. Yeah.
My mom is turning up to it, and
it's crazy.
I'm turning up to it. That doesn't happen a lot.
Nah, it's wild. I think this was like the song that really opened my eyes to that. Just that like how crazy one thing can, like, the fact that I made it in my room just by myself, like on a random day, and then now it's like connecting all over the world in all these places that I never even heard of. It's like really wild to see, and like shout out TikTok for that, for real. Like low key TikTok, they hooked it up, but now you can't even listen to it on TikTok. So
Reels,
it's crazy,
Shorts.
bro. Yeah, follow me on Instagram. Yo, we're taking the party over to Instagram.
Roll with the punches.
Yeah, have to.
Yeah, that's the way it goes.
Yeah, man.
So now what are you up to? Has this like informed your process or the way you're going about future music? Because you said you had like an R&B project kind of queued up.
Yeah.
Did that switch
Crazy.
the plans up? Or are we still gonna hear this?
Yeah, I think so. I hope so. Like, I think I really want to get to a place where I can put out music that I genuinely love, because it's, and not to say that the music I'm putting out aren't things that I genuinely love, but this R&B project, for example, it's such like a core part of who I am as an artist. Like that R&B sound and that R&B feel, like that is where I came from those early days back in Tim is in my bedroom. Like I was listening to Bryson Tiller, Party Next Door, like Drake, like Usher, like the R&B Justin Bieber. Like that's where my roots as an artist come from. So I think getting to a place where I can just do that and also stay, like pop is gonna be there forever. So I definitely want to solidify myself in there, but just getting to a place where fans love the music because it's coming from me and not just because like it's a good song. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think that's the goal.
That's like the defining trait of, I think, every artist who's gone on to have a successful career.
Yeah.
I would say you're building towards that right now.
Yeah.
You know, like just by nature of these smashes that you're putting out, covering so much different ground.
Yeah. But it does get, it is scary sometimes, because like I have this, I guess it's not like a fear, but it's like this thought that if I continue putting out all these like heavy pop songs and like all these radio, like songs geared for radio, I don't want to get to a place where I'm like so solidified as like this pop radio artist that I can't come with like the R&B or like more hip hoppy stuff, you know? So I think like figuring out that balance and trying to like play in both worlds is important, but it's hard to kind of find that middle ground. But that's what I'm out here doing, man.
I feel
trying
like
to figure it out.
that's exactly what you're doing. And also I like to think like at the end of the day, if the music's good, the music's
find
good.
its place, for sure.
You know,
it's the most important thing.
If you're putting out great pop songs and then you're putting out great R&B songs, I don't think there's anyone in the world who's going to be complaining about that.
That is a fact, yeah. So I guess I just got to put out great music and that will be good, bro.
All right. Tell me like top 3 quintessential R&B albums. Like just defining to you personally.
Yeah, to me, I think number 1, I have to give it to Party Next Door, his first album. Like I've yet to hear any kind of R&B like even close to that, like, and that shit came out like a while ago. So that came out even like it was crazy. And I remember like researching that album and figuring out that he was like, I think either 21 or 22 or maybe even younger. I
didn't realize he was that young
when he put that out. So I was trying to like picture myself doing something like that, and I was like, I don't even understand. Like crazy how he just was that good at that age. But yeah, that's number 1 for me. Bryson Tiller, Trap Soul, number 2 for sure. And third R&B album, it's tough because I would love to say like Justin Bieber's Journals project, but that might be like a hot take still, because people might be like,
are coming around.
People might not see it as R&B, but to me, like as a huge Justin Bieber fan, like to hear him do something like that, like you can't say it's not R&B coming from like One Time or like Never Say Never. Like you can't say that compared to Journals isn't R&B. You know what I'm saying? So I think for me personally, that has to be up there because it's shaped how I make R&B so much.
In that sense, it is kind of like that blueprint, because it is weaving in the pop 100%. And the R&B in a way that's
blend.
believable.
Exactly.
You know, I don't think people were ready for it when it came out.
No, definitely
which
not.
kind of sucks. But I feel like it's gaining this like cult classic 100%. Following at this point.
Yeah, it's like if you know, you know.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So good.
Yeah, man.
All right, you got to give me a fit breakdown, because the fit's
fit breakdown.
Crazy.
Yeah, I got you. So, the vest. This is like old, bro. I got this when I was in high school. It's a Stussy vest, and then the shirt, the hoodie. It's a homie of mine who's based in LA. His brand. So this is like a globe.
You got it here too.
Yeah,
that's
and here in the back. Behind the vest says the name of the brand is Summer Tones, so shout out Summer Tones for the hoodie. It's like crop hoodie too, so like it comes cropped. I had to like extra crop this one because it's a little too big.
Go DIY.
But yeah, they come cropped, which is like super fire, and then the pants just like black parachute pants from Zara.
Classics.
the kicks, the blue motorsport.
Tried and true.
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
That's it.
Fashion's important to you?
Very important. I think it's such a huge part of like being an artist. It's an extension of your music. It's an extension of who you are as a person. That's why I think like it's one of those things where it's important to a certain extent. Like I don't think it should be like overly important. It shouldn't be important to the point where you're like freaking out. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't leave the house unless I'm like fitted up in this crazy thing, which is something I do sometimes, you know? And that's why I hate it, because it's like, it shouldn't be like the main focus, but it is very important.
You ever late to a session because you're just figuring out the fit?
Bro, so many times. I'll like go through like 3 or 4 different outfits before I leave the house.
But if it influences the way you feel, and then that influences the music
100%.
you make,
yeah,
it's part of the art.
Yeah. And especially now when like everything you're doing as an artist is on camera. Like you're on TikTok 3-4 times a day posting. You have to have so many outfits, bro, to stay fresh, and to people like they'll nitpick that kind of shit. They'll be like in the comments.
Damn, you
like,
actually get comments about
bro,
that?
I've seen it before. Like, yo, like he only wears this one hoodie, or like, yo, like, or not even just comments, but like other people, like, yo, like, why you always wear the same hoodie? It's
no
like,
way,
bro. That shit, it sucks. But
damn, if you look good, you look good.
Yeah, honestly, bro, like a hoodie to me is the most like elite piece of clothing.
Hey,
so I'm saying, man, you could like different colors, different fits, different whatever, but a hoodie is top tier for me.
That's staple. And for you, it's got to be cropped.
Gotta be cropped. I'm a short guy, yo. Like everybody who's watching this, it might not look like it, but I'm a short dude. So the crop is essential to like making me not look short.
That's your proportions, man.
Yeah, exactly. Because my issue with clothes is I'm short, but I'm also like a stockier guy. Like I'm not like huge, but I'm not like super skinny. I'm kind of like stockier. So I'll go to the store and like I'll try on a hoodie. I'll try on a small, for example, right? The sleeves will fit, like the it'll hit right where I need it to hit on the waist, but it's like tight as shit.
But see, you're aware of this.
Yeah,
you know, like
I have to be. But
I feel like some people just don't see that. So we're like small, medium, large, extra large. Like you probably are not gonna fall perfectly into the way this thing off a rack is gonna feel.
No way. A lot of people don't realize that, and it sucks.
So who's gonna make you custom hoodies?
Right now, I got my boy Summer Tones hooking it up, but
nice.
I have like this is a large. I have a small, medium, and a large in the same hoodie, all in different colors, because I wanted to see like which one's gonna fit the best. But the medium is the best. This one
looks sick.
Yeah,
it looks really good.
It's cool, man. It's really cool shit.
When was the last time you were in LA?
I was there like last week.
Nice.
For Grammy week.
How was that?
I don't know, yo. If I were to be honest with you, I didn't really like it. Like,
nah.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't really like it. I think I'm new to LA, so there's this feeling that is like always present when I'm there. That's kind of like it makes you feel very small, and that is like scary, especially when you're surrounded by like I was at this event and like Tyler walked by.
Crazy.
Like that made me feel like I'm like, why am I here? Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's not like a bad thing, but it's just. It's one of those things that it makes you feel like you have a lot of work to do. Like I felt when I was there, I was like, I have a lot of work to do until I can be at this event and feel like I'm supposed to be here. You know what I mean? Right now, I'm at this place where I'm kind of in these places that I don't really feel like I belong. They're over like lots of people. I'm overwhelmed. So I didn't love it. I don't love busy places in general. So that for me was just like from one busy place to the next for like the whole 3 or 4 days that I was there.
Feels like super self-aware. Like you're always looking in a mirror.
Exactly. And like going back to fashion, like I was going to these places and I was like, I thought I was leaving the house being like, yeah, like this is a cool outfit. I'm getting to these places and these people are just like Gucci'd out, like designered out, and I'm like, yo, I don't know if I'm ready for this yet. Like I gotta like build up to this, and I'm not gonna sit here and say like, yeah, it was like LA Grammy Week. It was bro. It's scary, man. That shit is not easy. Like all those little things like about being an artist are hard. Like the easiest thing is just making the music. Grammy Week, man, that's scary. Not ready for that.
It almost feels like it conflicts with what it means to be an artist, because
to
be an artist is like 100%. To be self-aware
and
reflective, and to sit in a room in your bedroom by yourself and make something about the way you feel. And then you're pulling up to these parties and it's like,
it's crazy. What? Yeah, no, 100%.
Do you see yourself as more of an introvert than an extrovert, or does it depend on the situation? Because like, dude, I see you on a stage.
Yeah.
And there looks like there's no problems there, you know?
Yeah,
in front of an arena or on an stage, like
it's wild. I don't even understand
just like
it.
flip it on or something.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it just kind of like takes over. I guess when like building up to that moment when I step on stage, I'm definitely going through it, bro. Like I'm freaking out. I'm like I need like a solid hour before stage time where I can just like before the headline show, I had my headphones on and I just had like rain sounds playing for like a straight hour, bro.
Just cool rain
and I'm just
ambience
going
on
through
YouTube.
like I'm going through my set song by song, like envisioning how I'm gonna say intro the song, how I'm gonna dance to it. I'm closing my eyes, just really getting into that zone. But as soon as I get on stage, I think like whatever it is just takes over and it just kind of happens. It's like it's one of those things where you can't really describe it to like a specific point. It just happens.
It sounds like you're doing the right thing. It
I
sounds
hope so,
like you were made to do this.
I really try to do the
Yeah.
right thing, man. Like
Yeah.
I just wanna. It's one of those things where being an artist is so like, it's like this privilege. Like it doesn't feel like I didn't go to school or like read a book or like study. You know what I mean? So the fact that I get to do this just feels like sometimes it feels made up, you know. And I think a lot of it is made up, but it's just this special thing where only very few people get to experience it. So I try to just like be as real as I can, because like when you're at a Grammy party, everything feels fake, you know what I'm saying? So if you can just like keep a little bit of that realness no matter where you go and no matter where you get, I think it helps you just like feel okay with what you're doing. Because sometimes you get off the stage and you're like, how is this, like, I shouldn't be allowed to do that. That's what it almost feels like, you know what I mean? I shouldn't be allowed to wake up every day and like write a song and that's my job. Like sometimes it just feels like it's just crazy to like even say that, and to like even be here doing this is like, bro, this shit is insane. So I try to just be as like real as I can.
And I think that's the edge, man. I think that's the edge you've got.
I hope so.
You know, like the realness is needed.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's not everywhere. It's not everywhere in this industry. It's not everywhere in music.
Yeah.
I think the best thing that you can do to the people who are listening is just like be yourself.
Yeah, man. Of course. And it makes
and you're doing that.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Thank you. It makes everything easier too. Like it's hard to just be something you're not 24/7, you know? Especially when you're on TikTok all the time. Like nobody's I'm not trying to fake it, bro. If this is my job, like I might as well just do it right.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do.
And I got to ask before we wrap things up, what can we expect up next, man? 2024.
A lot more cropped
can you tell
hoodies,
us?
bro. A lot more cropped hoodies coming soon.
Merch?
Yeah, merch.
Cropped
definitely.
Preston hood?
Yeah, definitely some merch. Yeah, merch is a good idea. I don't know why I haven't released merch yet.
I need a cropped Preston Pablo hoodie.
Yeah, we need to make that happen. We'll make it happen. You'll be the first to get one too.
Bet.
I got you, bro. I got you. What's next? I think figuring out myself as an artist is like next, you know. I don't think I'm there yet where I can just exist as an artist and be satisfied. I think I need to get to that place. So I think the steps to get there is obviously releasing a lot more music. I'm in the studio as much as I can be now. Writing. I'm trying to write music that I won't hate in 5 years, because that's something I've been experiencing at this early stage. But putting out a project is a big goal of mine this year, whether it's the R&B project or whether it's something else. But I think I've been putting out singles for the past couple years, and it's been great. But I really want to start telling the story of like who I am, and I think I need to do that in order to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So a project for sure, and then being on stages is like my favorite part of the job. So as many shows as I can play this year, that's in the works.
It's a good year to be a Preston Pablo fan.
Yeah, man.
2024.
Yeah.
Man, thanks for the time. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
We're gonna throw it back to a commercial break. I'll catch you guys soon. Thanks, man.
Peace. Thank you. Appreciate you, bro. That was fun.
Hell yeah.